Hello, 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 and welcome to the Poland podcast. I'm Ross Mulkern, and today I have the usual selection of miscreants, scoundrels, and ne'er-do-wells from Katowice. Well, not from Katowice, but somehow simultaneously residing in Katowice. To my left, I've got Paddy Murphy. How are you, Paddy?
I'm not too bad.
You're right.
Yep.
We have Matthew Siegel to the left of him.
Hi.
Hello. Further left still, we've got Brian Folan. How are you, Brian?
I'm
Brian's having an existential crisis.
I'm alright. What's the opposite of ne'er-do-well? Is it an oft-do-well?
Oft-do-well,
Okay.
yeah. Oft-do-well.
Cleared that up.
Yeah, frequent do good, yeah. And, yeah, I thought you were looking very kind of mesmerised by the ceiling there.
You know, I had stuff to say until you asked me, and then I just saw the microphone, and it's something that happens. It's with a camera and microphone. You've got lots of shit to say, and then someone goes, okay, I'll just press record, and you're like, can't even remember where I live.
Yeah. Where do you live, Brian?
No idea.
Okay, and to the left of Brian, we have Nicholas Klaus. How are you, Nicholas?
I'm good, thanks.
Are you excellent?
Yeah, I'm quite excited by your presenter's voice.
Thank you very much. This is actually my voice.
Yeah.
I was actually bred in a BBC laboratory.
Could you possibly say, this is the BBC World Service?
This is the BBC World Service.
That's good. It is
I can
good,
do Absolute Radio as well. Welcome to Absolute Radio, home of the no repeat guarantee.
What does that mean, no repeat?
It means they don't repeat the same song.
Ever.
Ever.
No, Paddy, they never say the same two words in a 24-hour period.
I like that.
Yeah.
Challenge is not accepted.
And finally, we have, very special to be joining us here today, we have got my good friend Joe Chesler.
Very good.
Is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
How are you, Joe?
Good, really good, thank you.
Excellent. It's nice to have the addition of your kind of smooth American accent. It makes it sound legitimate.
Really? Wow, that's interesting because usually it goes the other way around, right? Like if you have any other kind of accent, that's what adds the legitimacy to anything.
Well, I think
Well,
you're
you say
bringing
that
it to
because you're
Hollywood
American, and when you hear other accents, that's what you think. But we only hear our shit accents.
Well, not yours, but everybody else's.
Oh, man!
Whoa.
Oh.
Speak for yourself. My accent is glorious. It opens doors for me.
That's your ass.
I think it's the whole package, Paddy. This is...
Have you seen that martial art where people like use their voice to stop people?
No, come
Like
on.
shouting, shout and
Isn't that
scream.
just in Skyrim you're thinking of?
Well,
Isn't that are you thinking of the headmaster from Matilda?
No, there was this martial,
Yeah.
honestly, you should check it out on YouTube. There's this martial art where these people are like just, an attacker runs at them and then they just scream something, "Rah!" and then they just fall on the floor.
That also works if you just get your dick out.
Yeah, that's true.
I've seen that video as well.
What happened?
Think about it, some football hooligans come towards you, you just pull your pants down.
Yeah. So what would happen if...
And you try to put your dick in his pocket. What's the defence? All his MMA.
What
He's
kind of
trying to
stage
think...
would your penis have to be at? Like, you want to be like floppy or...
I think
No.
either
Fully
as
erect.
large
Yeah.
or as small as possible.
No.
So either douse yourself in ice cold water, or...
No, then you'd be really horny though.
The only way.
What? Why would
Whoops,
you do
I've
that?
gone too far.
So hang on a second. I'm just going to go to a conversation in Paddy's house. It's Valentine's Day, and I got like here's some wine. Here's a bucket of ice, Paddy.
Oh, baby.
He's just got like a
So you don't get the scared turtle thing.
Make my nipples hard.
he's just got like a gravy thing that you just kind of... So he sits and just...
Don't forget to cut the balls.
So just to
That was
this
a nice
up, what would happen if, let's say, Brian runs at Matt, Brian screams, Matt gets his cock out, who wins, or does it cancel itself out? Which force is more destructive?
That's the unstoppable object.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
the immovable object and the unstoppable
I think
force.
it depends on the tone and the pitch of the scream.
What about...
Because if it was like a...
Yeah,
he'd probably win.
I suppose.
If it was a high pitch like... I'd probably win.
Well... We can try that out later. That can be part of the second podcast.
That'll be the first video podcast.
But this is a whole separate
It's only
show.
taken us 2 minutes to bring
Come
the
on.
man down.
And so to round one,
been away.
where Matt will run at Brian with his cock out, and Brian will attempt to scream the best he... No, we won't.
Is this the first time you've hosted?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
First in line.
Yeah. No, you lost control there. It was like a man scrambling against this giant falling hill of cocks and screams. Just, no, let's get back to the running order. Sorry.
And so to the running order. I believe we have some letters. Is that the case?
Yeah, give us a
Paddy?
look.
Excellent.
We got some fan mail.
Wow.
Shout outs to...
We have a fan.
I have spoken to 3 fans lately. Senev in Warsaw, hello. Have a good time at the wedding you're going to.
Isn't it great though when you get an email like that someone you can't know, you know nothing about, has been listening to you.
It's weird, huh?
And then they say, "Oh, you know, I kind of like your." You know, obviously because I can't see any of you, I'm not put off by it. Anyway.
So it says, hi there, I'm a big fan of yours, but I'm really missing new content. When can we expect to see new episodes from you guys? I need my fix.
I can answer that one. Now.
So thanks, Frederick. We got another one from Mohammed in Berlin. He says, where the fuck are you? We're here. Thanks, Mohammed. And right, so let's get to our letters.
Our fans are really pushy.
Yeah.
Like they're really aggressive, you know?
Chill, Mohammed.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions here. So, hello, fellows. I'm a Paul Am. Was born in Poland, left for America when I was a young kid. In America, I feel Polish, but when I travel to Poland, I don't feel fully accepted. People say I'm more American now. Maybe it's my accent, but I do speak fluent Polish. Anyway, I'm thinking of moving to Poland for a few years. The thing is, I'm gay, and even though my family and friends know and are fully supportive, from what I've experienced while there on vacation, people are still quite homophobic. Should that put me off moving? That's from Eric in Chicago. I'd say fuck it, move.
I'd say move, but be aware.
If he goes to Warsaw, crack off.
I would still say be aware.
Warsaw is the place where they had the big rainbow.
They burn down every year.
Rainbow. Yeah.
But they put it back all the time.
They put it back, yeah, so they might burn you, but afterwards they'll put you back.
Some skin grafts.
So that's all right.
I think it's getting better, but
depends on the city.
Depends on the city.
Depends, maybe around here, around the sort of Krakow to Wrocław, the south.
It's a pity he's not a lesbian, because there's no problem seeing. You see loads of girls walking down the street holding hands and kissing and.
But is that not just Polish girls?
Diving and all. What?
No, there are.
Anyway, all girls are actually bisexual anyway, aren't they?
That's pretty bold. That's a pretty all-encompassing statement.
No, all women, because that's why women can look at actresses and go, she's really hot.
Oh, come on. I can look at a male actor and say he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Okay, there are a few, like Tom Hiddleston. He looks like our mate Tom in Berlin.
Sexy Tom.
Tom, I think you're hot.
Nice.
Okay.
But there's a good gay club in Katowice where we live. It's called Judasz.
Oh, yeah. You live in a gay club?
I actually live in it.
It's just mad daring.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of.
It's quite a scene.
Have you been there? I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah, we had
buying you drinks and shit. It's like, whoa!
Yeah,
you're a foreigner, so they even try and impress you more.
It's not because you're a foreigner, Paddy. It's because
you're so goddamn good looking.
It's because of your tight buns.
No, it's because they can see my nipple piercing and they're like, hey, he's gay.
Yeah, definitely.
Going back to it, I think you can't be really open. You couldn't be as open as you can be in the UK or in the US. You walk down the street holding hands, you're going to have a problem, I think.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Peck someone on the cheek on a night out, you might have a problem.
Well, I mean, you and Nick, and Nick and I have had some kind of gay dad adventures, walking together with children in the park, and it does raise a bit of a stare. Although we haven't been
should
beaten
probably
up.
clarify, Nick has a child, and sometimes we escort Nick around the park and leave Lily to play and drink beer.
Gay Dad Adventure sounds like a theme park for gay
people.
Welcome to Gay Dad Adventures.
That makes me sound like an awful father, because you said that you leave Millie to play and drink beer while you walk around the park.
Yeah, that's it.
Dangling participants.
We don't walk while we sit and watch her
drink
play
beer
while we drink beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, we'll go.
Don't see the problem with that.
We'll go with one more letter. So, hi, Poland Podcast. If you could have sex with any Polish actor, actresses, or singers, who would it be? I need some material for a wank bank, and because there's some hot Polish birds I work with, I want to check out some fit Polish women. That's from Dave in Huddersfield.
What was that one that you found in the Super Jednostka?
Oh shit! What was her name? Oh god, yeah. Dirty Chloe or something.
It's not a very
I have the
name.
link, Dave. If you send me your email, I can send it to you.
She's-
There's this wonderful porno shot in, Super Jednocka in Katowice?
Yes.
The big horrible blocks, yeah? There's a porno shot from a balcony up there, because the first scene, she's out on the balcony with her tits out, and it does a zoom on the coal mine in the background. I know, I'm sitting there with my dick out and just saying, "Oh my god, I know that place."
But like, what a thoughtful porno director, you know. So you're gonna blow the guy, and then you're gonna do him, and then we want to get some local landmarks.
I like it. He probably went to art school.
Yeah.
It's kind of signposting, isn't it? So after the coal mine, it's probably.
I think there's a lot more going on there than
there
just the
is,
porno. I think it's the story of the region
Mines,
of Cilicia.
shafts,
Yeah.
Digging
for coal.
Digging for coal.
Yeah.
This is a UNESCO place, right? So we're getting this funding from.
Yeah, but it's
Not for those videos. Sorry, not for those.
It's a larger statement.
I don't know if those videos have had access to the funding.
I've seen a clip of this video. You guys are giving it far too much credit. I think it was filmed on like some 20-year-old Nokia phone. Like it's not that nice.
I think she has another one as well. She had two videos.
Did you, Chloe?
Yeah, the second one wasn't as good.
To answer Dave's question, though,
Wasn't as artistic.
probably the classic would be what's her name? Doda.
Doda's nice. Yeah,
She's pretty attractive.
Also,
and tattooed. Which
she's really smart as well. She doesn't act it, but she's mad intelligent.
Everyone says
was the
that
thing
about
you said?
everyone whose public persona is a bimbo. Well, actually, in real life, they're really fucking smart. Well, why isn't she a fucking scientist then? She'd earn the same cash, you know?
No way.
No
way.
She gotta be a singer.
Also-
She's going out with your man from Behemoth.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Magda Gessler, also.
Oh yeah, you give her one.
Blonde
Yeah.
Polish babe.
She'd be filthy.
Massive
You
North.
talked about the chef.
No, I'm not having that.
Yeah.
Fat girls need loving too.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I'd
She's famous though. She gets
Gessler.
the point for being famous.
That's true. She's saucy.
I'm gonna.
There was the girl I used to
poo-poo
really
that
like, Anya Przybelska. And you know her, but she died 2 or 3 years ago.
She's an actress, yeah.
Yeah, she was a
yeah.
pretty good actress, and she got some horrible cancer and died like within 6 months or something. It's really
Pancreas
sad.
problems.
Yeah. So, yeah. Who else is nice and Polish? I don't know anyone.
Oh, and
Anya Mucha.
is that it? The model woman,
That's
top
her.
model,
Oh no, that's the
Anya
one.
Rubik.
She's the Canadian
Rubik.
one.
Anya Rubik.
She's a bit skinny though, isn't she? She's a bit.
That means she's making
bag of
money.
bones.
You like Magda Gessler, though, mate.
Exactly. I like the meat.
Depends what you're looking for, Dave from Huddersfield. I know a Dave from Huddersfield. Yeah,
Dave?
you know him as well. He sounds like Mick McCarthy. I'll investigate.
Can you
this
read his
further.
letter in Mick McCarthy's accent? I can have sex. And
I can do that. If you could have sex with any Polish actresses as singers, who would it be? I need some material for Wank Bang. Because there's some hot Polish birds I work with, I want to check some fit Polish women. Dave.
Gold, well done.
No worries.
Okay, good. So that was fun, wasn't it? So next up we have got Gowno Prawda. The round where we try to sort the Pravda from the Gówno.
We should explain. Gówno Prawda, Joe, it means bullshit in Polish. So we're going to say something. You have to decide if it's true or false.
It's probably bullshit, by the way.
I've got
had any that have been like Pravda so far.
Our lives aren't interesting enough to tell true
invent
stories
shit all the time.
that are suitable.
No, you've had true ones.
I've had true ones.
You had. Remember about the racist child?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are we doing one or two?
Yeah.
Go
The
for it.
racist child.
All right.
Okay. So,
I think maybe one or two of you may know one way or another some of these because I've got a couple. Okay, I'll start with this. So Macierewicz, the defence minister of Poland.
racist.
Yeah.
It's definitely a racist.
Let's call a racist a racist.
He looks like one of the White Walkers from Game of Thrones.
He does.
It looks like the daddy one. It looks like if you had long hair. Yeah. Anyway, so in the week, Macierewicz had a bad dream, and he woke up and panicked, and called the security services, as the defence minister would do, and helicopters were scrambled and flown over Warsaw.
I'd say that's 100% true.
What's his dream about?
What happened in the dream?
I guess something happened to Kaczynski. I don't know. He got scared.
Blowing each other.
Do you know he's
Garrett fell down the stairs or something. I don't know.
If you think
It's more of a wet dream, though.
to put it into perspective for listeners, he's like Starscream to Kaczynski's Megatron. So Megatron. So I would say it's 100%.
You're saying true.
Yeah.
You're saying true. Okay.
I'm going to say false, Gówno Prawda, because I think it might be something else.
Okay.
I guess with just the energy that's going on in Poland right now, I almost feel like because there is so many kind of almost riotous kind of things that are going on, I would say that it's true.
Okay, Ross?
I'd say, considering we had nuclear air raid sirens last year that nobody told me about, and I shat myself, I would say that is, very... Although I think actually because it's so plausible, you've made it up, so I think it's Gowno Prawda.
Yeah, that's my logic as well. I'm saying Gowno Prawda.
I think the fact that it is in some way believable is remarkable. It is Gowno Prawda.
Does it have
helicopters were scrambled during the week because a friend of ours, Joe Lynn, who lives in Warsaw, posted something. And that was my imagination, that he had a bad dream about Kaczynski. It may be true, but there's no definitive proof. But the fact that it's so believable, doesn't that tell you how mental the country living is? So there we go.
I expected it to be more like, he had a bad dream, but, he only scrambled, ground troops or something.
What do you want for breakfast? He just scrambled helicopters. Had a bad dream.
Whatever it is, just scramble it. My lord.
Right.
Okay, and you got another one?
I do. Do you want to do one now?
Yeah, we'll do one each then, yeah. So, right, when I was about 17, we went drinking down in Waterford. Now, Waterford is about 45 minutes from my place, so it wasn't the usual place that we would go. So it was a big event that we went down to Club LA, which was called Club La. We refer to it in Waterford. And this was the thing. It was really hard to get into, so we all had fake IDs, and we were all growing moustaches and shit like that, so we wouldn't get stopped.
Why was it called Club LA?
Because it's Waterford.
Was it a Los Angeles themed
yeah, it was. Yeah, they tried to make it all cool. It was in this dump in Waterford, the whole Waterford. Anyway, so we get down there, and before we got down there, we said we'd go up to this pub called Preachers. And Preachers were even harder to get into. It was like a 25s place. Back then you could stop people depending on their age. So we get in anyway, myself and another mate of mine, Gavin. And we get in, and I got chatting to this girl and got her number and got a kiss off her. So that was grand anyway. And we told her that we were going to, I was like 25, and I was studying to be a teacher, and she was a teacher, and she was all impressed with this, and so I had to keep this bullshit going. So eventually we had to get down to Club Lad, opened at 11. So we went down there, and she was supposed to show up, but she never did. So anyway, whatever. So it was Friday, we had a good night. And on Monday...
Did that hurt?
No, it's grand, whatever. I'm used to rejection, you know. So on Monday morning, we walk into school, and we have our Irish lesson. And our headmaster comes in, and he says, right lads... what was her name? Envoy. Mrs. Envoy is pregnant, so she's on maternity leave now for the next few months. You have a new substitute teacher. Everyone goes crazy in the class because the substitute teachers just get an awful time. You just give them a hiding.
Punch bags.
In walks your one. Yeah? And I get a punch in the back from my mate Gavin. And I was actually sitting there reading. I didn't even notice her coming in. I was just looking at books or whatever. I get a punch in the back, and as we make Gavin, he's like, Spud, it's fucking her, man. I'm like, what? And I looked up and I went, oh, bollocks. And yeah, there she was. Yep, and she recognised me, and it was awkward. Very awkward.
Okay.
Pravda or Gowno Prawda?
I'm going to say true, but I think when you said reading, you meant looking at.
Staring at page 3.
Yeah.
That is one.
I'm gonna say true. I'm gonna say Pravda.
I'm gonna say false because it doesn't. It's something that we really want to happen in Ireland, to have hot teachers in school with them. But
whoa! I never said she was hot.
Okay.
You got her number, right? So.
Well, as the story was going, I was assuming, because it's the fantasy, is your homework done? No, maybe I could count your tits. What?
Count her tits?
Yeah, it's mad. Paddy, sorry, I didn't mention it.
Best lesson ever.
Yeah.
What's the square root of 2, Spud? 1, 2.
But no, so I think it only happens in other countries, so I'd say no. I'd say it's bullshit.
Okay.
Gowno Prawda.
There's a lot of details. I don't know, I'm torn.
It's always a sign of a lie, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It is.
Too many details can be a sign.
Maybe it happened to his mate.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm
going to stick with
I'm going
Pravda.
to stick with Gowno Prawda. Yeah, for that reason. It's too detailed.
Okay, Joe?
Yeah, no, it really feels like it's out of a movie kind of thing. I know this story.
Mm-hmm.
It did happen to me, but other than that, so I would say no, it's not. not true?
I'm going to say it's true because I want it to be.
Okay. It was Gavin who shifted her. I didn't.
Gowno
So it's
Prawda.
all true, but it was my
Gowno
mate.
Prawda.
Gowno Prawda, yeah.
Very nice.
Good.
Good.
Good,
Okay.
right.
Well, what fun we're having, huh? What a wonderful.
Second time I said that, I said a catchphrase.
37 minutes.
I mean,
We've got an hour and a half to go.
irony is a great source of comedy, so it's fine doing that. I'm having a horrible time. So, it's now time for us to take a trip into the mists of the history of this beautiful country. And, well, looking at the theme of the first one, actually, maybe not that beautiful. But we're going to do today in history with Matt Seeger.
So, yeah, it's not the most cheerful thing. On the 14th of June...
Can we guess?
Well, it's on the screen, Paddy, if you're...
I can't say.
14th of June...
Massacre. Genocide.
You're in the right ballpark.
You're in the genocide
The
ballpark.
Germans... No, it's not going to be good. The Germans opened Auschwitz on the 14th of June. They sent 728 Poles, Polish people, not Poles.
To make a big fence. To keep the Polish people within.
Yeah. They sent 728 Polish people to the camp from a prison in Tarnów, which is just east of Krakow. And they consisted of soldiers, underground independence movement people,
Badgers.
school students, secondary school students, and a very small group of Polish Jews. Now they received, this is kind of interesting, they received numbers from 31 to 758.
Why
What
not?
happened the first 30 people?
That was my question for you to guess.
They died on the train.
Germans were crap counters.
No,
doesn't
come on,
sound
no one
German.
believes that.
Okay.
They had IBM
No,
counting.
the first 30 numbers went to German criminals, who were actually the first prisoners.
What kind of criminals? Like
Just general criminals. I think I don't know what
stole a loaf of bread and gone to Auschwitz.
Yeah.
What is
What,
it?
it
It's
didn't,
a camp.
Didn't,
camp. Like
it didn't sound as bad back then.
like me and Ross in the desert.
That's why you're having second thoughts.
That's
Brian.
it.
You're like, camp.
You know when you get those emails from people asking you to teach, and they're like, "Yeah, would you like to come work in our summer camp in Poland for the summer?" No.
Not again, not this time.
That's
Fool me
simple.
once.
Yeah.
Okay, and I do. That was very short, but I do have a tying question because Poles, as probably most of us know, are quite sensitive about how concentration camps that were in Poland are referred to globally, because they're often referred to as Polish concentration camps. And my question for you is, do you think Polish people are being overly sensitive about that, or do you think they have a valid point, or is it somewhere between the two?
Oh, it's a valid point.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think the clarity of that discussion is really important.
But everyone knows it was the Germans made them.
No,
Surely.
no. I mean, people in the States know.
Some people are wow.
You know, I mean, but if you say something like that, I mean, the understanding of the story is really not that clear.
Yeah.
So where things took place and where borders moved and who was where when is not.
This is my view. I feel that they're not being overly sensitive, but I do think there is an overreaction, because I do think it's a genuine error when you get an intelligent politician, not Donald Trump, but like, you know, Obama said Polish camps. He's doing that because for him it's so obvious, in my opinion, that there were German Nazi concentration camps. But I agree with you. I think it should be clearer. You know, German Nazi concentration camps in Poland would be a lot clearer.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was it.
They need to create an acronym, I think, that just to make it a little bit easier for people to get that point.
Yeah.
Something.
Like to call them something that says German, like Ger camps,
Like the
or German training camps,
German training.
something like
It's a
that.
girly fault.
Well, let's be fair
A
though.
nice lyrical thing too.
I don't think you can place the blame solely on Germans. I think.
The British invented concentration camps.
Yep.
From
The
the
Boer
Boer
War.
Yeah. Thank you.
We're number one.
Exactly.
Who was that prick? He was Irish. He was one of the leaders in the British Army at the time. The guy on the World War One. We want you.
Kitchener.
Huh?
Kitchener,
Yeah.
yeah. Moustache.
Worst Irish man ever invented.
No, I
Bono.
think yeah,
He was Irish.
Bono.
the world is broken.
Bono has killed people, but not really, we don't know.
I'd say he kills. I say that's the first thing he does in the morning.
Kill people.
Yeah, and someone brings out some dude and Bond just fucking takes his head off with a shotgun. What a beautiful day! And then he goes. I'd say he's just got good PR. He's just horrible in real life.
Yeah. I think he probably just saves it for just once a week, on Sunday.
That's a good blowout.
In Lent, in around Easter, he only does it once a week.
Yeah.
I think that...
No, he just maims.
Maiming. That's it.
During Lent.
For Lent, yeah exactly. Yeah.
Just
he's stuck on a lyric. What rhymes with hole? Goes out, he shoots a Filipino in the knee. Mole digging in a hole. Fuck yeah! Nothing like a maiming.
someone needs to get him a rhyming dictionary.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
that was it. I'm done.
Lovely. Okay.
You've all been to Auschwitz, yeah?
Yeah.
Fucking horrible.
I was there, right, and the thing that I found was really off-putting was eating in the canteen.
Yeah.
It's awful, isn't it?
It wasn't really the point, but I was really hungry, and I said, okay, and I got like fucking what do you call it? Cutlet tabove, which is a fried pork cutlet in Schnitzel, yeah, basically it's
Fat schnitzel.
Yeah.
Schnitzel.
Oh, you went there.
Too soon. Yeah, but it was just kind of really, Paddy, it's like having a potato restaurant in the Famine Museum. It's just like, what the fuck are you trying to say here, man?
Cheese and beans on your
So it's just kind of really, for me, but it didn't stop me fucking eating there.
This is a great tie-in. My mate Dave from Huddersfield called someone a prick in Auschwitz. Yeah.
Was he?
The guy was being a prick by the sound of it.
Yeah.
Dave was looking at some plaque on the wall, and he hadn't realised, but there was people stood back looking at it. And some guy, instead of just saying, excuse me, was like, oh, why don't I stand in front of the wall so no one can see? And Dave just went, fuck off, you prick.
Good man, Dave from Huddersfield. He takes shit from no one.
Dave's an honest man.
Yeah. It is one. We should move on in a minute, but and we can edit this out if it turns out to be shit. But related to Auschwitz, have we all heard about those kind of British school kids
selfies and shit? Yeah.
Not but selfies, but they picked up like a button or something.
Yeah.
They put it in their pocket, and then they were basically they got fucked. Because it's against Polish law to remove anything from Auschwitz, and they were looking at some like prison time,
Really?
Yeah, they were posh. They were private school, bro. Not that has anything to do with it. Let's not bring the class war into it.
Can you really punish the youth for being youthful, though? Can you really punish the youth for being youthful?
If they're posh.
Yeah. But
if I'd said that they were working class,
you're watching the story on the rapist of California, that whole thing.
Okay, that just shot my argument down completely. Thanks, Joe. You just get. I'm not going to
say. So I can go on now, right?
No, but that's not like youth being youth. That's a rapist being a rapist.
So rapist walks into Auschwitz, steals a button, and no, it's not really. But anyway, look. Basically, the fucking moral of the story is that the kids stole the button. They got offered eventually a lenient sentence because they are good lawyers, and then they refused that bargain and said, "No, we'll fight the case to the end." Do you think that they should go to prison for 6 months for being... I don't think the original crime was that bad, but I think they've been pricks about it.
I think if you rabbis should throw them a beating, and that's the end of it.
Hided by
everyone remembers a beating.
We have a legal system. You're allowed your day in court. I don't think you can hammer someone for that.
No,
that's not the reason.
You wouldn't send them. Give them some... Make them work there for a summer or something.
They've tried that before, Paddy. Can't make people working out.
I walked right fucking into that, didn't I?
That's what they said.
Oh, Jesus.
We've got some loot.
You can only make that joke because you're half Jewish.
I think we should go on to a safer subject. The rapist in America.
Anyway, like I said, we can edit that out in case we get hate mail. So the next part that I've got on the screen in front of me is that we're going to... Well, it's meant to be a tongue twister, but I'm actually going to teach you guys some Polish slang.
Oh, no.
Any sentence in Polish is essentially a tongue twister.
Sounds like a snake having a sneeze.
It's got... Rzeszów, there's a word for you.
Rattle.
Rzeszów. So the word that I've got for you is Heiß.
That's not that hard to say.
Like German. No, obviously that's not the fucking whole sentence. Jeez, it's my first time hosting. Can you
He's starting us off easy.
No, we are having a lot of fun.
He's
So
warming us up.
speak to yourself. The phrase is Heiß się zgadza.
Heiß się zgadza.
Heiß się zgadza.
Heiß się zgadza.
So but you got to say it all together. So it's like Heiß się zgadza.
Heiß się zgadza.
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 Zgadza. Heiß się zgadza.
Good. Very nice.
Heish.
Hello.
Heish, how are you? It's Dutch.
Sean Connery.
Close enough.
What was that again?
Okay. It's Heiß się zgadza.
Heiß się zgadza.
Heiß się zgadza.
Close enough.
Heiß się zgadza.
Hi, Shez. And that is, I was told by some 16-year-old Poles who I kind of cornered on the street. I was like, tell me something cool. They told me that. And it means, apparently, like, money is no issue, you know, count in the paper.
I'm amazed Poles have an expression for that.
These were Poles that go to a certain quite expensive language school that we might both know. So I think they're of the upper middle class, to say the least.
Okay.
It's called money English.
Yes.
Cash English.
Exactly. Or my father. Hi, Shez Ganta. So yeah, and that means basically, you know, money is attracted to me. The books are balanced. And it's apparently something cool to say if you are a young Pole, which of course we all are.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got an interview with the wonderful and effervescent Irena Winder, my friend. Hello, Irena.
Hello.
But the reason that we have you in, Irena, is because last week on the 4th of June, I believe, was Solidarność Day. Is this correct? And I know that you used to work with Solidarność, an incredibly important movement in the history of Poland and the world in general. So could you tell us a little bit about what your position was and what it was like in these times?
In the 80s, my opposition was really strong, like most of people in Poland, of course, and I went to Solidarity movement. In Poland were 10 million people in Solidarity. When during the martial law, everything went down, of course, and people went to opposition. I was in opposition too, but not so strong like before the breakthrough at the turn of political system in Poland. And then I was really strong involved in this movement. I worked in Solidarity in special committee, citizen committee. And it was really fantastic time for me, because we felt in atmosphere something new, freedom. It was really fantastic atmosphere. And we felt that we changed everything in our country, that everything will be new and fantastic future for all of us.
Good. And I think that it's something that's quite hard, certainly for me as the youngest kind of member of the podcast team, to imagine. But I mean, we talk about life under martial law now, and you know, you've talked to me about it several times. Like it's a natural part of, you know, when I reminisce about my school days. Oh, back in martial law. But obviously, it was, I imagine, quite scary time to be alive.
Our life during the martial law was really difficult because of politics and because of economy. Because in our shops was nothing, really nothing. But it was about economy. Yes, we couldn't get anything. Such things like cosmetics or soap for washing, for example. not only good food or good clothes, but these base things which we use for life. Yes, but in politics was more hard. Because at the time we had censorship, we haven't freedom of speech. Every one of us was spied by authorities. We had soldiers in the streets. It was really hard. Many books were forbidden. Many films were forbidden. For example, we couldn't watch such film like James Bond, for example, or such film like it was with this man with cloak. I forgot his
Superman.
name. No.
Batman?
No, not. Superman, yes,
Yeah.
it was Superman, yes. This film was forbidden in Poland because Superman was...
American, I guess.
Yes, but he fought with Soviet Union, communists, or something like this. So we couldn't watch such films, for example. But a lot of serious books was forbidden too in Poland. Everything was under the censorship. So this life was really difficult, and such countries like United Kingdom, for example, was for us like a paradise because
Never been there, have you?
We have two very jealous Irish people.
But Ireland was like a paradise too. All countries, because we were behind the Iron Curtain. Yes, and all countries were for us really fantastic. In England were the Beatles. For example, when I was young, and on the radio we couldn't listen to the Beatles, for example, in 60s or 70s. Yes, so for us it was really fantastic country, such England or Ireland or France or another. We hadn't such freedom, for example, normal freedom, normal things, which for teenagers in the West were nothing.
Irena, can I ask about something you said about the economy, yeah? Because during martial law there would have been like these PEVEX shops, yeah? And PEVEX was for people who were like coal miners and stuff like that, yeah?
No, this weren't PEVEX shops. PEVEX shops were before the martial law and during martial law too, till to the breakthrough, political breakthrough. But in PEVEX shops you can buy everything, almost everything, by dollars.
So which are the shops I'm thinking of? Because there were some shops that like the coal miners.
For coal miners during the martial law, we had such shops in Poland, special for coal miners who worked on Sundays, for example, or Saturdays in coal mining. And they got special vouchers for buying goods there.
And so, like, So my question is, how did the other people feel about the coal miners having like special privileges? Like, were people jealous or angry or pissed off or?
In Upper Silesia it wasn't such hard because in almost each family were coal miners, but in the other parts of Poland it was really hard. Yes, for example in Kraków. In Kraków were very strong opposition, so in Kraków was punished by authorities in different ways, especially on the economy part.
This brings me to the question of obviously under any kind of repressive regime, like all the things that are banned, they all still happen anyway. You know, I mean, it's well documented from, you know, Saudi Arabia to Belarus or whatever. So what I'm saying is, first of all, did you ever get in trouble for anything interesting? And second of all, how widespread was disobedience of the kind of martial law, especially among young? Because I know you had, like, for example, you said you couldn't listen to the Beatles, but I think a lot of people had, like, Radio Luxembourg,
yes,
pirate
exactly.
radio. Yeah.
Yes. Radio Luxembourg was for us like a window for the world. Yes, it was something fresh, something free, independent. It was such kind of luxury for us, and almost of us listen to Radio Luxembourg, but it wasn't so easy because this radio hasn't good strong signal. Yes, and we invented a way for listening. For example, I gave my radio on the metal based from lamp, for example, and in this way I could listen to this radio in better way. But sometimes this wave was going something in the air, and we couldn't listen to.
Yeah.
But it was a kind of luxury. Such things like Radio Luxembourg could help us to keep in good shape in these awful times.
Yeah.
So it kept your spirits high.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Irena, that was my next question. So Solidarność was really the opposition to the not just the regime in Poland, but it kind of became the opposition to the Soviet Union. That was the real power at the end of it. Would you agree with that?
Would you take that credit?
Yes, I agree with this, because Solidarity movement turned up as a trade union. Yes, it was a trade union, but it wasn't such easy in Poland, because we hadn't free trade unions. And when the workers in yardship in Gdańsk made strike, there will be supported by people who were in opposition. Before trade union, before this strike, this big strike in 1980, in Poland we had opposition, because 10 years before in Gdańsk were killed workers in shipyard.
Black Thursday, was it called? Czarny Czwartek?
Yes, exactly. And we had quite strong opposition, but these were intellectualists, professors, writers, sociologists, and such people. And when this strike in shipyard was made in Gdańsk, this people supported workers, and that's why this we could win.
And how quickly did it go from a small movement to 10 million people? Did that happen over a period of time?
Overnight.
So there was a tipping point.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Overnight, because it was when was strike in Gdańsk, all people in Poland supported them, and this became very big movement. But it was a political movement, of course, because in Poland everything was politics. And we were against Soviet Union because we were under the boot of Soviet Union. So we hated Soviet Union. But when we got freedom, I think we should have better relationship with our neighbors. But we haven't.
I wanted to ask kind of about some things since Solidarność, but obviously a lot of us in the West would know about Lech Wałęsa, and recently the current government have made some accusations about Wałęsa and that he cooperated with the Russians and things like that. And I was just kind of curious what your opinion is on that, as someone who is involved in the movement. Do you think that there's any truth in these accusations or not?
I don't know exactly how it was with Lech Wałęsa, but in my opinion, when he was arrested in 1970, he was only one. Because we hadn't opposition there. He was a really simple worker, and he could say something to soldiers or police, but I think that everything what he did it later, it was really big.
Yeah,
and we couldn't forget about it, because in my opinion, Lech Wałęsa was this man who did it, and other people, I think his enemies now, political enemies now, are a bit jealous of his success. Because I must say it, Polish people have such disadvantage that are jealous about success of another people, Polish people. This is our
characteristic.
Our disadvantage. Yes, and I think that it is a result of this disadvantage of my nation.
Yeah. Well, I think we probably all agree with your summary of it as well.
There's no Kaczynski fans here.
No. And I'd also read that he worked with Wałęsa, and then Wałęsa kind of realised, I don't need him, and got rid of him.
Yes.
And that was when Kaczynski turned against him, almost as revenge.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
We'll have part 2 of the interview with Irena in the next episode of the Poland podcast.
This is called a random question generator, and you have to answer this as truthfully as possible. No, internet.
I have something while you're setting up that I wanted to bring in. It's simple. You just have to say yes or no.
Okay.
So yes, no.
Are we going around in a circle?
No.
I'll do one for I'll do one for each of you, and I'll tell you if you're correct afterwards. Brian.
Yes.
Yes, no.
No.
Roman Polanski.
Yes.
Incorrect.
No, one shot on.
Nick. Yes, no. Gołąbki.
Yes.
Correct. Joe.
You were always his favourite.
Yes or no? Chorzów.
Chorzów? Yes.
You're only saying it because you work there.
Give it to me. Come on. I'm a guest.
Incorrect. Because me and Patrick were once... Well, we weren't attacked, but our train was attacked.
Our train was attacked.
In Chorzów.
Makes you sound very rich, that does.
Our train. Paddy and Matt.
How else would one get around?
Hanging on to the spokes of a helicopter. Okay.
Yes or no?
No.
Żubrówka without apple juice.
Oh, yes.
Incorrect.
No way.
Man.
You're tired of being wrong, Ross.
Paddy. Yes or no? Polish women.
Yeah.
Yes. That's it, that's all.
And that's why we're all still in Katowice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is it Do you want me to do this, or do you want me to like similar?
Work away, yeah.
Okay.
Be creative.
Okay. Is it better to finger a midget or be fingered by two midgets?
The midget that's being
That's what
fingered,
it says on the
is it
screen.
male or female?
You are blindfolded, so you don't know.
It's just an orifice.
It's just an orifice.
Can I choose which finger?
Doesn't matter.
And which order?
Yeah.
The midget chooses.
They're going to go for the pinky, aren't they? Let's be fair.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
What's green and smells like pork?
Kermit's fingers.
Hey!
I'll go with option number 1.
Go with option number 1. Okay, very nice. Let's generate another random question. Well, that's lame. Any cool questions on here, Paddy?
No, just be creative. They're all
Okay.
pretty crap.
Here we go. Brian.
Hello.
Is anyone not married? You're not married, are you? Excellent. You've had it.
I was married.
What are 3 pornographic websites that you visit every day? On the screen. It's not me, it's the website.
Every day.
Every day. Narrow it down.
Wow, that's a big list.
Magda Gessler exposed, of course. That's one of my
I have to
favourites.
remember names though. They're just on my clicker thing. It's,
I've got them on like speed
Multiple
dial kind of
homepage.
thing. Yeah,
I just have buttons.
Hello, Joe. You are good at turning me on.
Okay. And let's do Paddy. Hang on, we've got limited time here. We've got to choose, the
We'll
funniest
get
people.
you next week.
Yeah. Next week. If you could have one superpower, Paddy, other than the power to attract any woman, which obviously you already possess, what would it be?
Stopping time. I like to stop
You
time.
fucking pervert.
And I would rob everything. I would rob all the banks. And I would also play horrible pranks on people. I'd like pull their pants down as they're walking down the street and tie their shoelaces together.
Yeah.
And I would put politicians in funny poses. I would put Kaczynski standing behind whatever the fuck his name is.
That guy.
And I would... Yeah, there was a recent photo of the Pope and Polish president do that, and I would like swap their clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'd be horrible, because I'm a bad person.
Would you do everything all at once? Just pause and freestyle once.
Well, see, I'd have to find out
Like a month.
Well, see, the thing is then, I'd have to learn, like, how do I age while time is stopped? Like if I stop time for too long, do I come back 10 years older? Because that's
No, but part of the beauty of you is your spontaneity, and so I think you would want this to just be like when you can do it, because your spontaneity is spectacular, right? Just like, it's like squirrel. I mean, it's a non-stop thing. You would,
But Paddy, I mean, you could turn it into
That's
your
what I
life's
could do.
work.
I could put animals having sex with each other and stuff. It'd be hilarious.
But you could do all of. You could spend the rest of your life doing this, like going around pulling everyone's pants down, doing all of these things, and then by the time you get to about 95, you unstop time just to see the whole world fall over with its pants down, and then and animals fucking people's face and everything, and then you get to die quite happy.
Just something on animals and animals. I was browsing the internet looking for crazy Polish stuff. I don't know why this came up, but apparently there's a kangaroo and a pig that have a sexual relationship.
Wow. Like a
It's
relationship?
been going on for over a year.
Wow.
In Poland?
No.
That's amazing.
No, but I don't know why it came
What
up.
do the parents think?
Yeah. And what do the kids look like? Pigaroos?
I think that unfortunately time has got the better of us, so we're going to have to wrap up for today, guys. But haven't we had fun, Nick? Yes, we have.
So much fun.
So, bye.
Bye.
Toodles.